Good evening, everyone. Good evening. God bless you. Thank you for being here tonight. We are with the Words of Wisdom, here with the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speakers Series, and we are broadcasting live over the Words of Wisdom TV network on YouTube, and we have a continuation of the discussion from last week where we talked with the single women about relationships and marriage and being single for the holidays. And tonight we have two gentlemen that are going to be speaking, and you guys are going to really enjoy tonight's discussion. And before I bring them on, I'm going to bring on the moderator for tonight, and she was actually one of the panelists last week, and that's Miss Imani.
Hey everybody.
Hey. We definitely, I'm excited to hear you tonight, Miss Imani, and see what's going on and how you're going to handle the gentleman tonight. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so, it's gonna be fun.
It really, and you're gonna do an exceptional job, I know. So we tonight we have two men, and it's hard to. I'm not gonna say it's hard, but men are difficult. Some men are. We'll leave it at that. But I'm thankful for the two brothers that we have tonight, and I'm going to just bring them both on, Mr. David Brown and Mr. Aaron Smith. Welcome to the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speakers Series on relationships tonight. Glad to have you guys here. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking. I'm going to let Imani take it, and I'm going to go ahead and step to the side. I'm going to be watching from backstage behind the curtain, and you guys have a good show. Be open, be honest, and let's get, we're going to be able to take some questions. So if you're watching and if you want to submit a question, then you can do so. We are, nothing is off limits. So with that being said, Miss Imani, it's on you. You guys have a good show.
All right. And I'm sure we will. First, I just wanted to say, David and Aaron, thank you, because your honesty is what's most important. Even if it's hard to say, it's an opportunity for women to hear a male perspective, right? It's an opportunity for, it's like that barbershop talk. It's like the conversations you have with the boys that you don't necessarily feel women are, I don't know, ready to receive it maybe, or it's just not, you just don't open up maybe to women that way. This is an opportunity for us to learn and get a perspective, a behind the curtain like perspective. And I think the conversation is necessary, and I think it will help men and women that we really get inside each other's heads as much as we can so that we can communicate better. But to start this off, because you're two men, obviously you can't represent all the men in the world. So could you give a little background, like your age, anything you're comfortable with, so at least with the conversations we're about to go in, people have a perspective on who you are. David, do you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, everybody, my name is David Brown. I'm 29 years old. I recently this is weird because I got to go in a career to explain myself because we are careers. But recently I was running an after school program. I catered to 100 plus students, K through 6. And before that, I did coaching. I was coaching basketball at a Cesar Chavez Middle School. So just a lot of work inside of the community, running stuff for students. And then I do security on the side. And outside of that, school for myself. I went to school for media art and animation. Currently working on some art projects for myself. Nothing major, nothing big, but some intrinsic stuff.
That sounds big, David. Animation, and that's big. That's good stuff. Okay, Aaron.
Yes, my name is Aaron Smith, 39 years old. I'm a regional sales manager for a truck rental company, but I also have multiple businesses. I do health and fitness, personal training, and a bunch of other things in the wellness industry. And then I have a few other businesses. One of them is a business on Amazon, flipping books. And so I do a number of different things, but the main thing is wellness. And then I have my regional sales manager job.
Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna dive right in. Both of you saw last week, right? And things that the women said.
didn't.
Oh, you
I
did
didn't.
not.
I found out about this probably maybe hours ago. So
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to look at. I didn't get a chance to look at it, unfortunately.
Okay, well, this is just an opportunity. We're just gonna hash over some things as far as women. It would be nice to have older men on here too, so we can have some diversity. But let's get started. I want to just ask you, what do you? I'm gonna ask you one of the first questions that Pastor Thomas asked. Why are you single? That's simple. Why are you single? Two good-looking men. Why are you single? Is it choice? Like what's up?
I guess it's about finding the right person. And right now I have a lot on my plate. As I mentioned, I do a number of different things, and a woman has to be fine with that. So finding that person who accepts what I do, me being a busy person, extremely ambitious. So my problem has been finding someone who's down with that, who's okay with it, and is understanding, and also being the right person. Myself, I think there's only one person I'm going to marry, so I don't want to just. If I marry someone, then it's going to be a screening process, not just anybody, just because they have certain things that I like. I have to really get the chance to know them. So.
Okay, so you've been having trouble in that area getting. What's been the challenge?
Well, it never had a challenge like getting women that are interested, but as far as is there certain things that I see is like, nah, this won't work. And for me, consider how much I do, it's going to sacrifice. If I get in a serious relationship and get married, I'm going to have to sacrifice some things that I do, some more time, and that person has to be worth it. In my opinion, I've dated a lot over the years, and I'm not married to any of those women. So in my opinion, I wasted a lot of time. So, since, I'm 39, so, I'm not getting any younger. Of course, eventually I want to get married, but it just has to be the right person. It has to make sense.
Okay. All right, David.
So I guess for me, it's by circumstance, and then after that, by choice. I was inside of a really long-term committed relationship. I was with somebody for 7 years, pretty much most of our 20s. But then, we just had to part ways. We grew apart. So I've just spent like the last 2 years just, of course, a young man got to go out there and I got to figure out what I was missing. So I've been living life. I've been out here dating, and it's just been weird, I guess. So in a sense of where I was putting a lot of time inside of the women, I just kind of had to draw back and say there's so much more growth that I need. And it's just put me at a comfortable space where now, as a man that's about to hit 30, I can start to understand why most older men are how they are. Like I can start reading into myself and understanding where I'm going to go. And there's so much more that I'm ready to do and accept and step forward with. So it's just like this call to responsibility. Like Aaron has a lot going on, and it sounds of the stuff that he picked by choice. He's a humanitarian. He cares about fitness. Like there's pieces to his work that show himself in it. And for us, like I said, we have to figure out what it is and what it's going to be. So that hit that point, it becomes who fits inside of this category for me. Because right now I'm finding a lot of people, especially at my age, you guys see these videos.
What kind of what you mean videos? What? Talk about
TikTok, Instagram.
COVID happened because of that cucumber. Y'all don't watch Chico, the 85 South show?
So what?
We're at a
So are
terrible
you put?
point. For me, I look at a lot of the women that are around us, they're giving out bad morals. I have a close, tight-knit family circle that I can trust around the kids. But outside of them, when I go out here, I just got done working at a school district. So what I see from these kids and what I see from the parents, that's what I'm going to see inside of the environment when they get older. And it's already starting at the level of 3rd to 6th grade. So
Mm.
it draws me back when I'm ready to date. I've tried it. I've went out. I've dated a couple of these women. I've been out. I said, yeah, maybe I can put time into the kids. Let me do this. Maybe I can be a good stepdad. Like I tried it, but it's something about the culture that's hurting right now. That for me as a man, I just got to stand back and just say, let me do my thing. And while I figure it out with my brothers, hopefully the sisters can kind of figure it out, and I'll meet somebody that figured it out.
Wow. So what do you think about the pool of women? I mean, what are we saying? Come on, let's be real. What about the pool of women that is a challenge, or because both of you are kind of seeming like you're looking for somebody that's going to fit. You're looking for character and morals. I know a lot of women, young and older, with good character. Is it that you're
Yeah,
looking in the wrong place? What you
yeah.
think?
I was going to
Well,
say that just goes into networking in our social circles and how we move and operate. If I do the same thing every single day, I'm right here. I'm where I am. Like for women, I look at it like you guys want to date, you guys have to start putting in that want. Like women, I keep on going back to everything as a naturalistic look. Women were our natural hunters. Like if you look at lions, they're the natural hunters.
Oh,
Yet
so you're switching it.
it's a role
it's
reversal.
kind of like that now.
If we're out here and we're providing the household and we're being dominant and we're out here doing all of this stuff, we don't have time to pursue 100%. We don't.
But
We don't.
both women and men are out there hustling now.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt, without a doubt. There are women and men out there hustling, but based on this is from my perspective and what I've seen. I see a lot of women sitting back on Facebook waiting for Mr. Right to hop in their inbox. And it's like, you have about 50 guys that you don't even look at. You're never going to see that one guy in a list of 100 messages. Like, you have to go out there, start working on yourself, getting out there, doing what you like, and meet somebody inside of the field that you like. Like, I see a lot of stagnation within my age range. So it's for me. But if there's an older audience, these are your daughters.
I work with a lot of younger. I mean, I can line some up for you now because I work with young adults. You know, they're in their 20s, early 30s, and I would love for them to chime in. They go to church. They're looking for the same qualities that you're looking for. So the question just becomes, you know, and a lot of men in their age bracket, they're not trying to really commit. They're playing games. You know, they playing games. The relationship, but when it comes to getting married, because I'm telling you, women, they plan their wedding is already planned.
Yeah,
They know what the
yeah.
dress look like, they know what the shoes look, so it's not like they're not looking for that. And women nowadays, especially in this season, Black women are doing it. So I just question, Aaron, what are your thoughts? What's going through your head?
Well, a lot is going through my head. I think when it comes to certain women, sometimes they have in mind a particular type of guy they want. You know, as far as it needs to be this, it needs to be that, and you got to think that a person who has those attributes, does he want you? Does he want someone like you as well? So I think women have to become the best version of themselves. I've been in situations where, a person, they're cool. I like their personality, but, for whatever reason, for my own reasons, I don't want to go the next level. But they feel that, they want to be with me. So I think it's being the best version of yourself, knowing your value, and also being realistic as well. Because there's a lot of men out there who play games. If a woman will give them attention, especially if it's going to lead to something sexual, they're going to go ahead and give them that. They're going to go ahead but they may not want to marry that person, So you really have to, I think when you're the best version of yourself, whether it be health, career wise, but even though a lot of men, especially if they're very successful, a woman having a career and making a lot of money is not the biggest. They don't really look to that. A person, depending on who you are. So I think, when it comes to me, it's just, or a lot of women I've talked to, is just like I said, being the best version of yourself.
But Aaron, all of us, men and women, are becoming the best version of ourselves. So why did you not get with you said these women wanted to be with you, but for various reasons, like what stops you from pushing a button?
Because I felt I can do better. And I think a lot of times I've settled. And one of the things is I've never been big on pursuing. That's just, I've never been huge on that. Even when I was younger, going to the club or going places, I was never going to the mall. Let me see how many numbers I can get. I never was that type. So a lot of the girls I've dated have either been aggressive on me or it's kind of mutual. We kind of just, okay, it's not too much pressure. Okay. And so my thing is, over the years, I just kind of would date, this is convenient. She's pretty, she's cool, but it's not necessarily the one I want. And then a lot of the times I would just settle. So now it's like, well, none of those worked out. So I have to really think, okay, does this person fit with my lifestyle, the type of things that I do? Are they okay with my schedule and how ambitious I am? Otherwise, I've just wasted so much time.
But Aaron, you're changing. We change over time. We may look for a woman for who we are today. This is what I'm doing, and I'm this. But marriage is for a lifetime. So how do either one of you go about finding that person? Are you praying? Because women, I'm telling you, we praying, Lord, we sending a burnt offering, Jesus, bring a little bit, it's all kind of stuff going on. Do you prepare? You just living your life? Because you said you don't pursue. So are you waiting for them to pop in your inbox? Like what's that?
Well, for myself, when I say I don't pursue, I'm pursuing purpose right now. I have a lot of things going on. So I'm just not in a situation, especially when, in the past it's come easy. I can get someone who's attractive and okay, what else do you have to offer besides that? Okay. Anybody can be attractive. You can cook. What are some other things? Why do I need to pursue you? And I think, and I'm big on praying about that as well. Okay. But I think there's a lot of people who pray and they live their whole life and never get married.
Yeah.
So what actions are you, and if you're praying, are you praying to hear from God? Are you praying, only hoping for a yes? Because you like this guy and you're waiting to hear a yes. And you're assuming that's the person, but is that person on the same page? And I think, and I have different friends throughout the years who they don't want to marry that woman, but they would hang out with her to do something sexual. And women have to be able to determine what's the difference just because they're giving you attention. And then, what I look at just by doing research and listening to different things, like I mentioned before, there's certain, I'm trying to say this in a way, I don't want to offend anybody. Well, I think
need you to be real. Go ahead.
Okay, well, there's certain women that feel they deserve a type of man, especially maybe it comes, he has to be making six figures and this and that, whatever. I get it. Look, washboard abs or whatever. Okay, but does that man want men are very visual. That's one of the things they are. Okay. Just because a man thinks you're someone, they're attractive doesn't make, okay, why would he want to marry you? What's making you different? What value are you adding to his life? And especially for someone who's like, I'm in a unique situation. I just have a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I have a lot on my plate. So if I'm going to step aside and maybe compromise some of that because for the love of my life, it has to make sense. Whereas I've done it in the past and I didn't marry that person. I could have spent that time doing something else. So I'm in love with my purpose and my passion, and I know it's going to happen. But I believe there's some areas of opportunity for me to put more effort into that, which I haven't. I haven't because I'm so focused on purpose. And there's certain goals I haven't achieved yet. I've achieved a lot, but there's certain things I have not achieved yet. So I barely have enough time to do that as is. And one thing I didn't mention, I have a son. So I'm a father as well. I have one son. So that's one thing I try to spend time with him and do other things. Whereas, wow, if I was getting a relationship, they require time. Okay, call me. And I get it. But at the same time, I don't want to let anybody down unless there's some way she's going to be working with me, or other than that, it's like the timing is everything for me as well.
Okay. David?
So for me, it's definitely a bit different because, like I said, I was inside of that long committed relationship. So as you said, women are planners and they have the marriage date picked to a T. She had our date picked and she left because I did not hit that date. But within that time, I had personal things going on. I don't want you guys looking into her background because there was other stuff to it. There was stuff that wasn't right with myself. But within the time of her wanting to be married, my mom had passed away. I had been going through it with school where I was considering dropping out. I was having vehicle issues. I had a health scare where I thought I had cancer. There was a lot of depressing things. And for her, inside of the moment where everything's happening, she looked over at me and she's like, "Are you depressed?" And I'm like, "There's two ways this conversation can go." And I was like, "Does it matter? Like, what are we doing?" Like, if there's something that is happening inside of my time frame that's not fitting yours, like, you need to be the one that moves forward. It's not going to be on me. It's going to be on you. Like, I have to focus on myself and my health, because if I push the timeline like you want, I'm going to be in an unhealthy space when we start, and we're starting somewhere unhealthy. Looking at the track record, we've already had our ups and downs, and then if we go into this unhealthy, we're going to end unhealthy. I watched my parents end unhealthy. I'm still watching my parents work through something difficult. Well, not my mom, but I watch my father still struggle with relationships. I watch men outside of me struggle with relationships. Everybody keeps on hopping into something unwhole. And that becomes the truest form, whether it's depression, anything, something keeping you from being, like Aaron keeps on saying, your best self. You're not going to find that. And women are so ready because, of course, the biological clock is ticking. I just look at it like we live inside of a society right now. I don't have kids. If I don't have kids, I have to be accepting of that and say, you know what? We live inside of a world where there's kids on the street. Let me start giving back to them. Maybe I can adopt. Let me do this. Let me start giving back to the world. But when I was dating, when I was ready to be married, that was not my focus. My focus was on this world that was painted for me. The White House with the picket fence, Husky and the German Shepherd. Like, I wanted that life. And that became a reality inside of a world where that no longer exists. So for the women of today, I still see a lot of women that are not whole pursuing something. And they're pursuing men that are not whole. And they know that these men aren't whole because the men don't have a focus or a purpose. If a man has no purpose, he's pretty much going through insanity. I did it myself. Our minds are spinning and we're reworking the clock and we're beating up different ideas on the daily, trying to figure out a new way to get it inside of this world that is forever changing. And we have women that are pulling out from us asking, what is it that you're thinking about? A lot. I'm thinking about reshaping the world. I'm thinking about a lot. And we start hitting ourselves where, honestly, for me, I just need a woman that has very strong communication.
Okay.
Very strong communication.
Yeah, because I can tell you communicate. I can tell you communicate deeply, which most of the time the men are the ones that aren't going that deep in their communication.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So
for sure. And me as a man, I came here because I see that my brothers are suffering. So maybe there's some women that can say, hey, I know this dude that has a business and he's doing this stuff. Maybe you can check him out and invest in him. You know some people, I know some people. I'm trying to get back to my community and help my brothers out as well. Because there's stuff that I learned over time that I saw when I was a child. Like, let me avoid that. And I did. I try to stay on the right way. I try to do it right. So
I believe that that two is better than one. You know, you can go at it. Like for me, I can do some things. And for a lot of years, I was just accomplishing a lot of getting stuff done. Very goal oriented, kind of like Aaron, just knocking stuff out. Big shows, doing different things. And it came to a point, you know, in life, I believe with the right partner, obviously, two is always better than one. And you're always going to be busy. I'm still busy. I was busy when I was in my 20s, and now I'm in my 40s. I'm still busy. And it never, that busyness, you should be busy. You know, you should be pursuing. And when I was younger, I thought, okay, I went to college. I got this good job. Okay, I'm done with the hustle stuff. I've arrived. And then life happens. Life kind of has has these dips. And then you find yourself at some point in your life back to the bottom. Like things just happen. It could be health. It could be a divorce. It could be anything, family stuff, job layoff, change in industry. Like how many people have businesses that COVID just put out? Like They probably was skating like fine. They could not imagine. And now their whole business is irrelevant. Guess what? They're starting from scratch. Like, and I've learned, which no one told me, that everybody has that start over. You lucky if you have one. You might have more than one start over. So you're always busy. So where does this wife, where does this family, how do you see that fitting in? Is that a cop out? Kind of like, I'm busy, or I got this going, I can't find the right person, and you're not pursuing.
You want me to take it?
I'm
Go
sorry.
You want
ahead.
that first?
Oh, okay. Well, I have to admit, because I get questioned a lot, especially family, parents, and church. Like my dad, he's a pastor or a bishop. So it's like the tradition of your kids getting married and stuff like that. So I have to admit, sometimes to me is kind of an excuse. But at the same time, I'm kind of stuck between, okay, settling and then realize everyone's not perfect. You know, because I talk to people who are married and some have issues, but you have to work them out. So I have to realize I can't be that picky. But at the same time, I'm so close to achieving certain goals. I want to pursue my purpose. And I've talked to different married people. For example, there was a guy I know, he was pursuing, sports, right? And he got married and he wanted to go for the Olympics. He started training and posted about it. And then next you know it, he had to stop because he had to take care of his family. Not knocking that. But I don't want to be in that situation to where, and it might sound selfish, but it's just timing is everything. And so I just don't think, it can happen, but it has to make sense. I have to make sure that person fits in what I'm doing and I also fit in what they're doing. Otherwise, it's just not a good match for me personally.
Okay.
All right. So last week, Pastor James mentioned the word of want, and I feel like that's really what it becomes on. We're all so busy, and it's busy because of our wants. None of it has never been a need, especially for the African-American community. I really want to paint the picture that we were in the sun dancing naked before they put chains on us. Our ancestors didn't want or need anything. We've grown stressed out and accustomed to wanting this world. And that really drives how busy we are, and it drives where we put our focus. So the more that you want, the more it's going to take away from everything else that you're trying to put that time forward to. So if you want that relationship, you have to be okay with letting some of that stuff go. I seen a man, he had this cold GT. He had to sell it. Throw that car, vintage, loved it. Had to sell it. Said, you know what? It was my daughter's graduation. She said, Dad, I really need this and I need this. He said, I need to let this car go. That car becomes a staple and a memory on something that just is a value that he's never going to see another way. So it's, what do you want more? Do you want that memory or do you want that car? And that's how you have to start looking at your life. And we have so many people that just want so much. I want a lot, but I'm not stressed out over it. If I get it, I get it. We live inside of a world in a market of trade where everything is being boxed and shipped. Everything is gifts. Dr. Seuss is the only person I feel had it right when he made The Grinch. Everybody wants too much. Step back, and if you want a partner, then you'll find time to get them because you'll start thinking about the stuff that's going to help you get them.
Do you want a partner? Do you want to be married?
Personally, I feel like my goal and my destiny is going to lead me to something a little bit different. Like I literally, y'all hear me talking, I'm trying to be the next Walt Disney. I want to be the Black Walt Disney. I'm trying to do something with my art. I'm trying to build up a world. There's something strong in character. And a lot of us are, me going to school for media art, I went there for advertisement. I'm seeing a lot of environmental brainwashing through media. I've been seeing it since I was a child.
So you don't feel you can accomplish that big stuff with a wife, with a partner, or a family? No. The family structure takes away from you pursuing your dreams?
If I chase the family structure, it will look a lot different. There's something that I've been noticing with women. Every woman brings out something new and something, like every woman brings out something new in a man. So the way that I said men work and we carve destinies and we're trying to carve the world, that's true. But if we are with a woman that wants destruction, that man is going to be on a path of destruction. You see it every single day inside of our young hip hop culture. If this is what the women are saying that they want, this is what the men will do. So we need to start looking at the way that we.
But it seems like you see women as what you just said. There's a lot of women who are also pursuing, who also want men who have a dream. A lot.
Gotcha. I gotcha. I lost myself on that one. So yeah, but with the family structure, personally, if I was to follow it, it would take away from where I'm pursuing because I would have to separate the time.
So you
I can't.
believe the family structure will take away from your pursuing your purpose. Like you can't really do both on
No,
the
you
level
can,
that you're trying to go.
you can do both, but it's going to look different. The only person that I really can say is modeling what a great family is LeBron James. And that's not fair to the rest of us because he's extremely wealthy. Like there's other family households that even have wealth that their families are breaking down. But when you look at his family and you see the way that it's structured outside of him and LeVar Ball, we don't have major families that are being promoted to where we can say, hey, that's an average structured household that I can follow, I can model, I can mimic. So the household changes. And for us, if we find a woman that is ready to build that house with us and we establish the way that we're going to work and move, personally, if we're going to do that, when I told my woman at 20 years old, let's get a trailer. Let's get a little trailer park. It's going to cost us $50,000. We'll have it paid off in 3 years, and we'll have that. It will always be ours. We will always have somewhere to go. That wasn't on her plan. We ended up getting a luxury apartment on the north end of San Bernardino. That was not her plan. We would have had property paid off before we even got our first vehicles, and we always would have had somewhere to go. But the focus changes when we meet different people. Different people are going to bring out different things. So when I say the family structure, it can happen. But do I trust that it's going to happen? Not with the numbers I've been playing with.
Okay. Aaron?
Oh yeah, I think with the family structure, it can work. But like he was saying, for me, it just has to make sense, and timing is everything. Because I think in my situation, like I said, I'm real close to getting to certain areas to where I'll be able to delegate more. Things gonna be working on autopilot, so I will have more time. But when I'm in the process of working on certain projects and I barely have enough time to do everything, and then to get someone be in a relationship, that person has to be patient. I mean, I'll make time for them, but there's times where I can't respond right away. And one thing that I value them a lot is peace. And some things I've had in the past where it wasn't peaceful, where they've had attitudes, oh, you didn't respond right away, or we don't do things that normal. Well, I'm not your normal guy. I mean, I have all this going on, and I respect what they want, and I understand. So maybe this isn't the right time, or maybe they just don't understand. But also, it's kind of on me as well, because I haven't dated many women like me, ambitious. Most of them are just 9 to 5. Like I said, not knocking that, but they're not ambitious. I normally make more money than most of them, most of the ones I've dated. And that has nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying I haven't dated anyone similar to me. So maybe that's part of it.
So you haven't been equally yoked in that area?
Nah. So most of the ones, their lifestyle is totally different. Like me, I work, I have my regular, it's kind of like a 9 to 5, but I work from home. But I have other businesses. So after hours, sometimes I'm taking calls here and there, advertising, posting this and that. Why are you on your phone? This and that. And I get it. But if they understand why I'm doing this, or with the insecurities, that's not peace. That's I can't. It's hard to focus on you walking on eggshells because you answer your phone because of, and I'm telling you this is why I'm answering my phone, or this is the reason why I'm doing this. If I don't have anybody, I don't gotta worry about that. I just focus on what I gotta do, and then eventually, when someone's able to deal with that, or when I'm less busy because, like I said, I'm in a situation where I can delegate or I can do things on autopilot, then I have time for that. So, but it's not fair for me to get someone who requires that, which I understand why they require it, and then put my stuff on hold, and I might not even marry that person. Then I just wasted some time.
I noticed you keep going back to that part right there.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it, I've dated because of convenience. Oh, you go to my church, or I met you in college, or whatever. Okay, well, that can be fate, or God, wants that. But other times it's convenient. Or, there's people who's sexually active. They start messing around with them. Then you feel you're in love. But take away sex. Would you still be interested in them? I know a lot of people will say they're in love, but if you never had sex with that person, would you be in love? Maybe some will. But then, once you kind of look and say, does this person really fit? Is it going to be peaceful? Of course, no relationship is perfect, and people argue, and that's that happens. But if you're that different to where, for example, I'm into health and fitness, the person doesn't have to be healthy, and they don't have to be fit like that. But don't get mad at me because I'm eating healthy and be offended because I'm not eating the food you're eating, or my mindset on financing and saving and doing stuff like that. I've dated women that's like, well, you're too strict on that. Once you do this, well, I'm trying to get property. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to invest. If they can't go with that, I'm not going to marry someone just because you're fine. You're going to be a headache. You're not on the same page, so we don't match.
Let's talk about leadership. The man being the leader, the man being the head, because both of you mentioned something about, like, you wanted to get the property, she wanted to get the apartment, you ended up getting an apartment. You want to spend your money this way. If they're not, how are you as the head? Women, we can be, we have our opinions, and we will argue our opinion.
So
We will
again,
say we think it should be like this or that, and it's going to take a hit. Let's go back to Adam with the apple. You know what I'm saying? She did her thing. She just knew that was the best decision. She knew it was the best decision. So as a man, even in spite of her convictions, how do you be the head? How do you handle a woman? Because anyone, you don't want to get with some docile, person that has no fight in her at all, or that just do whatever, that has no mind to think. So as a man, how do you be the man in that way, dealing with women, especially Black women? What you think?
So I had an argument with one of my past relationships, and it was just like, we really hit a point where I told her, I was like, I let you have your dominance because in most situations it's going to get you happy, and I don't mind the outcome. I'm just here, like, you brought up Eve, which in that moment Adam could have stopped Eve. He was the only thing inside of the world that would have been able to say, Eve, put the apple down. His word had to have been stronger than God's in that moment, but he didn't. Eve ate the apple.
And you got the apartment.
And I got the apartment.
Exactly.
I'm just here. I'm observing. I want to see what's happening. What's happening? We're moving through this world every single day. We're here. It's something new. But with that duality, women want to see what's going to happen. They want assurance. There's no assurance, no security. I'm looking at our homeless rate.
What do you mean there's no security? What do you mean by that?
When I mean there's no security, women want security and this comfort from men. There's no security or comfort. Like, women are pursuing this, or at least the ones that I've met, they pursue this comfort, this security, job security, financial security, independent security. But at any time, I've met so many people that were making over 6 figures, grossing inside of the 200K area, and they just lost their job on the fly, ended up being homeless for at least 5 to 6, 7 years. My mom was homeless. We lived on the street for 2 years while I was in middle school. We stayed in the back of a Cadillac. My mom was on her way to becoming a sheriff. Like, there's no security in this world, but people want that so much. So it's tough when you're out dating and you're meeting people that are looking for these plans. Of course, you want your plans to stick, but there's this deep upset within people when something doesn't stick. And it's like, we're fishing every single day. You either hit it or you don't.
Well, women want security. They do, David, want security, but that security, I just believe women need men that know how to problem solve. And security is not necessarily money, but it is a lot of times perceived that way, because money, you can, something go down, the refrigerator break, baby, go get a new one. Your car break, oh, I got the money. But if you don't have the money, security is still, you just got to be a better problem solver.
Exactly. So you hit the psychology for most of my brothers. I'm happy you.
Women want men. Women want men that can make it happen. Now, how you make it happen?
It's on you.
That's a man thing. Because if the man is going to be the head, he has the problem solve. So if I come and he's the head, that means he's the final decision. If he's the final decision, I need to trust that he can make good decisions. And even if he don't, he can maneuver, he has a relationship with God, he can hear, he can problem solve. And that gives a woman security. Like, I know if somebody break in this house, I don't know if he gonna shoot him. I don't know if how he gonna do it, but I feel safe that I'm not gonna be harmed. Period.
I
And that's
agree.
the level of security.
And
What you
and
have
that
to say,
goes.
Aaron?
Yeah, I agree with that as well when it comes to leadership. But also, I think it's important that as a leader, you also want feedback from whoever, whether it's your wife or whatever you're doing. You want feedback, and you want them to be able to think for themselves as well. Because a lot of times, I mean, I've been on certain teams where I'm leading, but I'm getting ideas from people on the team. So even if you're your wife and you're leading her, you know, maybe she might have a degree in something or whatever. She can bring things to the table. So I think it's important that, you know, you kind of put your ideas together, or say, for instance, or if you're out of town, okay, or you, the leader also is mentoring. So if I'm not here, then okay, well, this is how you should do it. So it's a team effort to where you're not necessarily always relying on them, but when, of course, when the man is there, he's taking the lead. But if he's injured, or if he's in a hospital, he gets hit by a car, he's in a coma, you're able to hold things down because he's taught you all these things, and vice versa. You know what? She's normally cooking, or she's normally doing this. You know what? She had a situation to where, okay, I can do it as well, especially if you have children who are depending on you.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
Right.
So when I say security, it's not even so much the dinosaur day type, because more men are chefs than women. Number one,
Yes,
I don't know how
yes,
that
a lot of things have
I don't
changed.
know how that
And
thing
women,
got switched.
right, and
Men
women
ain't
are in
making
corporate America making money too. You know, making more money than men sometimes.
women
So
are doing
yeah.
some things, but women at the core, the security is based on his ability to problem solve. And problem solve don't mean he solve it by himself. It just means if he's pulling from the woman, whatever, he's able to solve problems.
Right.
And everybody, and that just provides security. And some women don't even know how to communicate that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
she want to know that the house not gonna get taken, you know, whatever that. Or if the house got taken, he already know how to have another apartment ready to go, you know, because things happen. So it's not perfection that's required, but it is to be the head means to be the head. If you on a job and you the manager, everything falls on you. You might have a bad employee, I mean bad, but guess what? Or if you a business owner, it falls on you. And that's the burden that I realize men carry, but are men really carrying the burden?
No, no,
And
not
that's
at all.
the thing.
Not at all. Not at all. And that's the biggest point that I want to hit on. We're inside of a society that keeps on telling us live this certain way, but that's not what we live in. Can we reassess the rules? Can we reassess our values? Can we reassess the way that we were taught and brought up? Because we did have a lot of stuff happen that switched the roles inside of our societal norms. There's a lot to it. Like,
But
there's
you
some
can't let
brothers.
society, I mean, if God has a structure, because women, we're built a certain way. You were built a certain way, period. No matter what happens in culture, culture changes, but we can't really change the core of the rules because of culture.
I want to say that, but then at the same time, let me say this. In the back of my mind, I've been raised in churches my entire life, but I stopped going. I had to seek knowledge differently. But in the back of my mind recently, I've just been hearing Deuteronomy. It's not changing the core, but we do have to talk about these words and reevaluate the way that they're given, because the way that they're given right now does not fit. Moses had to re-talk to the Israelites, and he had to reevaluate them as society. We have to start doing that, and we have to rechange the way that we're speaking and we're structuring stuff, because it's not hitting. It isn't. I keep on going on it. I was raised inside of a generation where there was this picture laid out for me, and it's not that picture. So for us, when that's what we were shaping and we're walking towards, and that's what we're given through what we're following, it's not there. I meet a lot of men that step away from this early. Like a lot of my friends step away from it early, and we get into ways of building our own businesses. For me, I wanted to go follow art so I can always be a business. For my friends, they're out here being barbers, they sell shoes, they do third-party distribution. Like, my friends have businesses, but outside of our work, we still are lacking a fundamental piece to the formula, because the world has changed, but the word hasn't. The word has to follow the world, and it always does, but we missed the beat. We didn't have the word before, so everybody didn't get the knowledge to be ready. And there's a lot of men in this world that are not ready, and their fathers weren't ready, and some of their fathers before them were not ready, and it's hurting our society. So
if the word follows the world, and the world is in charge, then the world is God.
True, but I look at it differently in a sense of,
you mean the delivery of the word, because based on as far as how society is different.
Of the word, and we're here. You know what? Forget it. We're here. We've been polluted as a culture, as a Black culture. We've been polluted. Our music, everything that's given to us. Women want something from men that are polluted. We've been given crap our entire lives. And then this is an accountability piece. Men have to wake up, and we have to know what we're accountable for, because the world that we're out here chasing is not a world that we need to be chasing. People are chasing Cardi B, screaming WAP, because that's what they see. And then there's people that are not doing that. There's brothers like Aaron that are out here. But then when I talk about the women, there's women that are out here. And then I just start looking at the deeper psychology and all of it. We were put inside of a system that we know was designed to break up our household. And now we cannot merge. And everybody is sitting right here saying, well, you know, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what it's supposed to be. Yeah, it is. But we know systemically racism has broke down our bond and our relationship and our glue. And we're still chasing something without any glue, and we don't know how to talk and communicate. And then you just look at it like, oh, God, God, God. Like, yes, God is here. Deion Cole said we look at God for too many of our problems. And we do, because this is intrinsic stuff that we could sit down and look at. Ask yourself what you want. God doesn't know what you want. That's why he gave you free will. But our culture is hurting because of society. We need to get this word out to our people.
So let me ask this question. So I think I hear you. You're saying that the way we're delivering the word needs to be upgraded with the time so that people can get it, grasp it, and use it. I want to ask you both, because we're at 45 minutes. I want to ask you both. I want to take some questions, but what if, just ideally, in a perfect world, what do you need your woman to look like? What do you need from a woman? What do you, I mean, when I say look like, I don't mean, you can do physical too, but I mean like to fit. What is that?
To fit, my woman needs to be down with earth. She needs to love nature. She needs to want to go on hikes. She needs to be okay with walking around, going up north, going to go see some of these national places. She needs to be okay with going on long drives, and we just coast. If we went flat broke, but we had gas money, we would be okay, because we get to go out here and we get to go see the world. I need a woman that is okay with being apt, maneuverable. I'm really like, if we need to go off the grid, I need somebody that's ready to go off the grid with me. I have too many women that can't not sit outside of their house with air conditioner for 2 minutes. I don't even want to date them because I can't take them where I want to go. I want to go back to nature. I don't like this world. And there's barely any nature left. And you're telling me you don't want to go see it? Nah, we can't rock. Get up, get out, take care of yourself, start taking care of the world. Women are supposed to be our mothers. And I look at it like our truest mother is Mother Earth, but we've destroyed it and we don't get back to it. I'm meeting too many people that don't want to get back to just roots and figuring stuff out. Walking around nature, walking around life, looking at the stars, talking, and just communicating. I don't see any of that. And we don't teach our children that. And it's weird. We live in boxes now. It's weird. And our women are looking for relationships. You're trying to hop inside of a box with somebody else because your box looks weird. Like, focus on other things and grow. It's our time to grow and really get out there. Like, if you're single, take this time to grow.
Okay.
Mentally.
Let me let Aaron answer that question, and then I have a question from the audience for you, David, but I want to hear from Aaron first.
Yeah, mine is similar. Be able to grow, be the best version of yourself. My situation is unique. I have a son, but also, someone who's willing to learn. I'm big on health. Like I said, they don't necessarily have to be, have a six pack and do, just be extremely fit, but understand, especially with COVID, keeping your immune system strong. Finances is important as far as kind of understanding it and knowing why I do certain things with my finances, as opposed to why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you saving this? Is just kind of having an understanding. If you don't have an understanding, be willing to be coachable and understand why I'm doing with my finances. Otherwise, we be butting heads all the time. I know we don't have to be exactly the same. Of course, I want our faith to be the same. I mean, I'm Christian, so I want someone to be Christian as well. So we have the same faith and similar beliefs. But other than that, I just wanted to fit and that person to know what their purpose is and not just be dead weight, not just be cute and be able to cook. Okay, what I understand you want to be a housewife, but what is it? Why are you here? Okay, and how does that relate to why are you on the planet? And how does that relate to what I'm doing? We don't have to be in the same profession, but if it's too different and we feel we're going to butt heads, then it's not going to work. But other than that, okay, I understand that you do what you do. Maybe it's the same profession, maybe the same industry, maybe it's not. But other than that, you look good, and you can cook and you can do all this. You have to bring more to the table. Why you?
Why are you on the planet?
Yeah, and what makes you different from other women that and same thing. I need to bring that to the table as well. What makes me different from other men? Why me? Because I've dated certain ones that I felt had ulterior motives. Like you said, my dad's pastor of a church, bishop, and different ones that said God told me I was different stuff like that. So I've had certain experiences that it makes me skeptical a lot of times, especially if they know where I'm from or whatever. I'm not saying I'm totally against that, but stuff like that has happened. So I'm very leery sometimes, and it's like a screening process before I will commit in a relationship and be married to someone. Open to getting to know someone. I mean, there's no harm in that. But then once I figure it out, then it's like, okay, it's either gonna work or it's not.
But Aaron, are you flexible? Because you mentioned how I spend my finances. Are you flexible to her having, input?
Oh yeah, of course. I want her to have input, but it's more so like, say for instance, I've had situations because I'm very ambitious and I'm like, well, okay, I have an extra vehicle. I want to go rent that out. I want to do it. And then someone was like, well, you're already making good money. Why you need to do this? Why you want to invest? Why you need another? I'm entrepreneurial. I want to think about legacy. If there's any ways that I can be strategic and have multiple streams of income, and someone's on that mindset to where, no, you need your job and this, are you too busy? Why are you doing it? Well, I believe that, God is leading me to do this. I'm a person who can do multiple things. She doesn't necessarily have to do that, but I'm that type of person, similar to, there's people out there like Kevin Hart, TD Jakes, Tyler Perry. They do multiple stuff, right? In a successful way. I'm that type of person. Some people may just want to be a lawyer or doctor. Great, you do that. But I'm not that. So
does she have to look a certain way? Does she have to be attractive? What if she's average looking?
Well, thing is, all right, that's a good question. I'll have to be attracted to her, but I have a wide range. And believe it or not, most of the women I have dated have not been healthy and fit. And the ones that society might say is an 8, 9, or 10, in my experience, is a lot of those women have a lot of options. So I'm competing. And you do one wrong thing, they go to the next guy who may look better, be taller. And most of the women that I've had better experiences with have been women that people see me with her. Aaron, you can do better than that. People have said, and then like she's not saying she's unattractive, but it's more so, well, you're a trainer. Why are you? Like I said, I have dated both, but the majority of the women I have dated, most people would say, looks wise, I can do better.
So you saying if she's fly, you're
I'm not against it, but my experience. Yeah, bougie is like, because a lot of those women what society says is fly, they get certain guys. And now I'm kind of in that. I'm not saying I'm rich, but I'm, my income has improved over the years, so I can kind of do that. But still, it's just like some of them are they're really into material things. Not all of them.
So since you have the money, now that's a good question. This is a real good question that I've had issues with, or like, why? Since you have the money, is it okay? Like, if your pocketbook can now afford this better looking woman because of your pocketbook, right? Is that okay for you that I got her because my money? I know that if I didn't have this money, this same woman would not want to be with me. Would that be okay with you?
That's not okay if I found that out, if I sense that. But if there's other things we have in common, maybe she's entrepreneurial. Maybe she's, what is she bringing to the table?
If she wouldn't be with you without that money, would that be okay?
That wouldn't be okay with me. It would have to be other things about me that she would have to express, or I can sense that she likes about me other than my money. Is it my personality? Is it looks? Is it other things? If it's only the money, nah.
But do you know that men, especially older men, they know like, okay, because of my money, I'm getting this
Oh yeah.
caliber of woman, and it's like that's fine.
Yeah, I
'Cause
know a lot. I know a lot, and most men who make six figures and above, or $500,000 or whatever, $1 million a year, or whatever, or more, they're getting those type of women, and hey, whatever works for them, and nothing against that. But me, like I said, even if my income increases or whatever, even more, I still going to look at more than just looks. Okay, looks are important, but okay, I'm looking at more than that. Do you fit? If I lose my job or things go wrong, are you going to still be with me? What are some other things that draw you to me other than my financial situation?
Because a lot of professional athletes, that's the thing. Those women and the ones that stop doing, they get an injury, they get something. That marriage is on the rocks now when that money stops rolling.
And I
But
learned from other people's experiences.
Yeah, let me get back to this question that's for David.
Mhm.
Someone asked, "Do you think you too deep for the sisters, for the women? Are you just too deep?"
Wow, I wish. I wish.
You
I
are
honestly
pretty
feel like,
deep.
I honestly feel like a lot of people just don't talk to me. I've moved around my entire life. I've been native to the Inland Empire. I've met, like, my Facebook. I have over 500 friends, and these people know me because I talk when I get stationed. But I've always been mobile. I went to 12 different high schools. I don't feel like I'm that deep. I
You
just
went
feel
to
like,
how many different high schools?
huh?
You went to how many different high
12.
schools?
12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was always mobile. Like, me and my brother, we was moving around a lot. So I just feel like I've never had time to sit down and establish that network. But now I don't feel like I'm too deep. Honestly, I feel like I'm waking up right now inside of a time where I'm finally stationed and I'm finally able to start letting the world know a little bit more about what I think. So talk to me, hop in my inbox, figure out who I am. I don't feel like I'm too deep. I just want to give back to the kids, and I really want our society to start. Like, I keep on hearing us talk about, y'all gonna hate me, I told you. I told you. So I keep on hearing this talk about God, but then I keep on hearing this talk about how much a man makes. If we're talking about God, why are we worried about finances? If you want a spiritual partner, find a spiritual partner. Get out of his wallet. Go Dutch. Like, that should be your mindset. If that's what you want from a man, and you sitting back saying, hey, I don't want a man that's out here and they're talking about their wallet and they're boastful and they're backward, let that man know, I don't care about your money. We're doing everything Dutch, and hold him accountable to that. He can't buy you nothing for a year. Like,
That's a good one for the ladies. Ladies, what you think about that? Go Dutch. Don't worry about finances. You praying, you talking, you want a man of God. You're
Let me
not
say
about
this,
money.
the fear in that, because I've been there. Me and my ex, I feel like our relationship started crashing because we started feeling more like roommates than partners. That's really what it became. We said, let's try the celibacy thing. So no sleeping together. And that's what it ran. It ran into us just being friends. And then eventually we just weren't friends. So
I can relate. I had a situation like that too.
Aaron mentioned it earlier. So as men, there's stuff that we know. Like, if it's our job to carve the future, half of us feel like we're fortune tellers. So when we see women, we know how the situation is going to end. So you got to come into the situation ready. Like, start holding men accountable. Stop giving these weirdos a chance that you guys know. Like,
how do you hold men accountable? How do women hold men accountable? Answer that.
What do you mean?
This
How?
The last question. This is the last question for the night because we had an hour now.
We live inside of a new society where women have so much power. You hold men accountable by just doing your own thing and being with your sisters, and you guys going out flying. I got a friend right now that's in New York having the time of her life on skates in Times Square. That's the kind of stuff that men are out here like, man, I really want her because she out here looking good. She doing her thing. And she don't care about nothing. Just started her own little cake business. She don't care about nothing. Just out there looking good, having fun. If I get into that and we have like relationships like that, that's different. That woman has a core. She has something to her. She knows who she is. It's a lot of that that's missing in women, and we don't even have those conversations with women. Like, instantly, for me, every conversation that I've been having since I've been single, it's like, if we're not talking about sex within a week, the conversation is dead. That's crazy, and I don't even care about it like that.
Okay, Aaron, how do we hold women accountable? How do you hold women accountable? Or how should we be held accountable?
Well, I mean, I think, I mean, he was right. I mean, a lot of different women, you know, like you said, you mentioned that they talk about sex within the first, I don't know, first couple of weeks. I think just like I mentioned before, just kind of being the best version of themselves. And see, another reason why some men don't get married is because they can get the things that they value without marriage. So really kind of have that standard. I know it's not easy, because at the same time, there's some men who won't deal with you if you're not giving it up. But if you have other things that would attract them, whether you're celibate or not, then, like I said, being the best version of yourself. What is it that you bring to the table if you want to be married? Okay, how do you guys fit? Not just because he's a man and he's hitting certain bullet points that you want. How are you helping him as well? And how are you guys a team? And that way, when you do get married, or if you live together, then you're not gonna get bored, other than the sex. Or if you're dating someone and you decide, no, I want to be celibate now, you have nothing to talk about. You don't really like each other. It was a physical attraction thing. Go beyond the physical attraction. Go beyond the money. Because what if that money is gone? Otherwise, then you just wasted your time because now you don't want him anymore.
Okay. If you can give me, we're going to end on this. If you can give me one word, if you can only choose one word to describe the woman that you would sacrifice a little time from your busyness, or just invest a relationship in, what would that one word be?
That's a good question. One word.
Humanitarian for me. She would have to have some type of work giving back to the environment.
So you got one word, David. One.
Yeah,
humanitarian.
I'm just elaborating on it. Humanitarian is my one word. Humanitarian is my one word. But I'm saying, for women, take that away. Go into the community. Find yourself something that you want to do, something that you like. You got to become a part of this earth. Like, we live in the ethereal. You got to be a part of this earth. Start giving back. Start healing.
Purpose.
When you heal other people, you heal yourself. So be a humanitarian. Get out there, start meeting some of these people. And when you go out there, you might meet yourself a brother that needs some healing. And then you're going to realize, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a healer. That's what I do. Get out there.
Aaron, had you thought of your one word?
There's a number of words that come to mind, but I would say understanding, because with understanding, there's a lot involved in that, because I'm in a unique situation where I have a lot going on. So understanding my unique situation and all that I have going on, that is huge, because that brings me peace, to where it's less arguing and it's like, okay, how can we work together? So I just, understanding.
Okay. All right. Pastor James, is back to you. Thank you, Aaron and David.
No problem.
This was a perfect combination. I think if I didn't know any better, I would think David and Aaron knew each other. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And gentlemen, I want to invite you to come back next week to join the ladies.
Okay.
And so you guys will be together with the ladies, and we'll have another discussion with the ladies and the women. But I want to say, David, what you said something that really hit me, and when you said that if you want a man of God, why are you worrying about the money? You want, and I so agree. I do know that, God will give you the desire of your heart, but I do believe also that a lot of people, a lot of women don't know. They say I want a man of God. I want a man that, but then again, they compromise. They compromise that desire. Either you want a spiritual man or you want a thug. You're not gonna get both in one. He is one or the other.
You can get a spiritual thug now.
I'll say this: I'm closer to the spiritual thug that you'll get. Every single day I get up thinking I'm Tupac. That's the closest. And trust me, women don't want us because they think we're crazy. So you don't want that.
We're gonna, gentlemen, Aaron, David, thank you guys, man. Nephew, I'm proud of you. You you had me thinking like, wow, wow. I'm like, that's him, huh? So, but it was wonderful. We're gonna have a good time. There's a lot of people online watching you guys. So I don't know if you guys want to give out your social media or not, because
I don't mind. I mean, I do business, so of course I'm always
go ahead, share
okay.
your social media.
Okay. Well, my main one is at A Smith Network, but my business one is at The Real Body Blueprint.
All right, David.
I just IG at Dave B Fresh. That's it.
Okay. All right. All right, gentlemen. I'm gonna let you guys go now, and next week uh, it'll be the same time, and I'm sure it will be a the same type of lively discussion. And thank you once again for being here. You guys exceeded my expectations. So I'm gonna go ahead. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna go ahead and remove you guys now. Um,
All right.
Miss Imani, awesome job. Awesome job.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
thank you,
it
thank you.
was, you guys were in there in the trenches for a minute.
In the trenches. In the trenches.
But it was wonderful. You did an awesome job as a moderator. Like I said, a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on YouTube that are watching. So let me say, before we leave, it's always relationships are difficult regardless of who you are, your spiritual status. Relationships are difficult because we are all imperfect people trying to fit into a perfect union that God created. And the problem a lot of people have is that they try to do it without God. And that's almost like trying to uh, drive a car without ever taking lessons. It's not going to work. You may eventually get somewhere, but you may tear up a few cars on the way. So, trying to uh, be in a relationship, and you have to establish, first of all, how important is your relationship with the Lord. If your relationship with the Lord is important to you, it better be important to the person you're looking at as a potential mate. And I always tell, when I counsel people or I marry people, I tell them, when you look at that other person, don't just look at their bank account. Don't just look at how handsome or how pretty. Look and see if you can find the fruit of the spirit.
There you go.
If you can find if you cannot find the fruit of the spirit in that person, and your relationship with the Lord is a serious one, that's not the person you're supposed to be with. I don't care how nice they are, how many flowers they bring you, how many dinners they take you out to. If your relationship with the Lord is important, you need to see the fruit of the spirit in that person, but also that person needs to see the fruit of the spirit in you. And when you create a union like that, now you have a union. It's not going to be free of drama, because as long as we are human beings, you can love somebody, you can be in love until, like, oh my God, I can't stand for her to be away from me. Then there's going to be times you're going to feel like, God, will you please go somewhere? Leave me, just go with your girls or something. Go somewhere. Just let me have, it happens. But you can work through anything when the foundation is steady. And if the foundation is based on the fruit of the spirit, that means you have a relationship that's being led by the Holy Spirit. So I am Pastor James, pastor of Holy Revival Church in the city of Compton, and Words of Wisdom International, and 7 a.m. prayer movement. And Miss Imani, bravo, bravo,
Thanks.
bravo, bravo.
Thanks.
Any parting words, Miss Imani, before we go?
I would just say that fruit of the spirit is the secret sauce. That's it right there. That should be at the top of the list. And although we all struggle with the fruit because it's love, it's joy, it's kindness, it's patience, it's long suffering. It's probably the main one that we all need to get is that long suffering, right? We're all working on it. And if we get someone who is at least working on it, like striving for it like we are, and Christ is in the center of it, that's the best you got. Because I don't know how it's hard enough to be unified in any form or fashion, unity in any way, let alone becoming two people becoming one person. So that is a foundation, and that's going to be at the top of my list. The fruit of the spirit, other stuff will flow after that. And that's our
Yeah.
parting words. It was fun, and I thank Aaron and David, and it's awesome. Thank you for this conversation and this platform to just be able to be real and have these conversations. And I hope, we'll do it again and have different variety of men and women and just begin to have these conversations and get to know each other just a little bit better.
Well, we're going to continue it. I thought maybe this was going to be a 2 or 3 week venture, but I see that it's going to be ongoing. So, and then we're going to explore other areas, entrepreneurship, success, all of these things that can help strengthen a relationship. So, with that being said, God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Next Sunday, we will have the men and the women together. Ooh, I'm glad we're not going to be in the same room. It's going to be good. All right. God bless you, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. God bless.